Hello, everyone, and welcome to Full Time to Travel Time. Today, we have a very exciting guest. Honestly, she's one of the hardest working people I know, and she's dedicated her life to helping others and helping this planet. So, Kim, would you like to introduce our amazing guest?
With pleasure. Thank you. So today's guest is someone who is passionate about making sustainability practical. I keep trying to combine practicable, like actionable and practical, and truly impactful. Ashley Weisman is the Executive Director of GreenLight Solutions. It's an awesome non-for-profit organization dedicated to educating and empowering students and businesses to create real-world sustainable solutions. Through her leadership, Ashley has helped bridge the gap between knowledge and action, which I love, by the way, mentoring the next generation of change makers while also helping organizations rethink how they show up for the planet. She believes that sustainability isn't just a cause, it's a lifestyle, and it's a catalyst for adventure and innovation and connection. So we're so excited to have you, Ashley. Thanks for joining us on the show.
Yeah, thanks for having me. Very excited to be here.
Extra excited because we've known you for like a long time now. Yeah. How many years, Isaac?
I don't know.
It's close to 10 years, honestly.
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah, because it all started with GreenLight Solutions, your nonprofit. And this is like pre-executive director Ashley.
It was?
Yeah,
wow.
Yeah. Because I'm pretty sure the first time we met you in person was at a networking event, Alliances.
Yes.
And Kevin was running GreenLight Solutions.
Yeah.
And then we helped GreenLight Solutions show up on Google and everything with our local like our digital marketing agency. And look where we all have grown.
Yeah, it's
that's
really cool
exciting
to see. And actually, last year, and it was a 7-month project, so the last 2 years, we actually were a project partner with GreenLight Solutions, which is a really amazing experience, and getting to work with the students going through the program and creating an entire work-from-home sustainability guide. So,
and we'll be definitely talking about that today. Speaking of, in today's episode, we're going to be talking about that, what Isaac just said, but also like the basics of what does it mean to be sustainable. You know, that word gets thrown around a lot. So let's talk about like what that means and how individuals and businesses and even college students can start taking action like right now, today. And also we're going to be talking about your awesome program that you offer with GreenLight Solutions to events, which is, we've been a part of that. We'll talk about that too. And lastly, we're definitely going to be talking about your snorkeling adventures because my understanding is you've been doing that for a while. So we'll want to dive into that. See what I did there?
One.
See what I did there? Also, I don't even know. Snorkeling isn't diving. That's scuba diving, isn't it?
Yeah.
All right.
Yes.
I tried to make it work. We'll slide over it.
it was a solid dad joke.
Thank you. All right, Isaac. Let's jump in.
Alrighty, so we're going to be throwing you some questions, Ashley.
Let's do it.
So, first of all, sustainability means different things to different people, and I know it feels like the main driver of your life is really focusing on sustainability. For you, what was it that first sparked that passion that got you really excited about wanting to really focus on sustainability and really dedicating your life to it?
Yeah, so I actually went to college for voice performance.
Oh, well, here you go.
Yeah, so, but I always found myself more excited to work on environmental stewardship and environmental speeches and things like that more than I was rehearsing my voice lessons. So it's kind of a funny story there. But I had one professor in college that really kind of changed everything for me. He talked about sustainability, how the 3 pillars of sustainability. So a lot of people talk about sustainability as in financial or it's environmental, but really sustainability is 3 pillars. It's people, planet, and profit. Meaning you need to balance those 3 things or else that will not sustain. People meaning society, planet, environmental, and then profit meaning the economy. When you you provide the most value to your community and to current and future generations when you're giving the same necessity and balancing the needs of all 3. So that's one definition of sustainability. So he talked about that, and that made me go and change my degree.
Okay.
Literally the next semester.
Wow.
So then got the bachelor's and master's in sustainability. It just seemed like a no-brainer to make my life's work and my life's mission to safeguard our planet for future generations.
And it is. We see you doing it. And on a side note, have you talked to this professor? Does he know that he influenced your life this significantly?
You know, I really want to reach out.
Do
and tell
it.
him
Do
that.
it.
Yeah.
Just send him this podcast episode.
Yes. Can we do it? Oh gosh, yeah, let's do it, because nothing like I've spoken to other teachers. We've talked about it before too. Like there seems to be like one core professor, like a couple teachers in people's lives who really change the course of our lives. But like the most honor we can give that teacher is saying like, wow, you really impacted my life. Like think about how amazing that's going to feel to know that he impacted your life and that you're making a huge impact with what you've learned from him. So yeah, let's share that.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, that's exciting.
Well, and I love your 3 pillars as well, because you know, I think a lot of people think that like going green costs more, and oftentimes it's a higher upfront investment. But I can tell you, like we've been going through and just doing different things for our new condo that we bought just to make it more green, more sustainable. And I love looking at my electricity bill now. You know, it bumps me up because it's like $60 a month, and I'm like, this is amazing.
Yes.
You know, so
often going solar, you know, it's that upfront investment, but it's going to be cheaper in the long term because our energy prices will continue to skyrocket as they have. So
and that's just one example at that. So on the topic of sustainability, let's talk about like the basics, right? So what does it mean to be sustainable, in your opinion, and how does that impact our day-to-day lives and the planet we live on?
Yeah, so another definition of sustainability is the Great Law of the Iroquois, which I always like to share because it's another relatable way to talk about sustainability. It's making decisions based on how it will affect 6 generations in the future.
Wow.
So when you make decisions that way, you know, you're going to think about people, planet, profit in a different way and conserve and reduce your environmental impact. You know, I had a friend actually tell me her definition of sustainability is living like my grandma did.
Oh, that's the best one. That's I learned so much from my grandma.
Yeah.
That's a really good
one.
one.
And interesting, I actually know that Iroquois law because I grew up right next to the Iroquois Nation in New York, and my father was heavily involved, and we would actually go and put on plays with them and everything. So it's funny that you brought that up. I was like, I grew up right next to the Iroquois Nation, actually.
You're doing it right.
Yeah. So I think that's a great thing that we could learn. And honestly, one of the things we've seen while traveling across the U.S. is that the Native American lands are actually, like, they've protected them from being overdeveloped. And so they're actually one of the biggest protectors of huge swathes of American land.
And gorgeous land.
In the West Coast, they have...
True. I guess the East Coast isn't as pretty, right?
They were kind of forced into smaller settlements. But the West Coast, they have some pretty amazing land out here. And again, you know, if it was Americans who owned it, we would have overdeveloped it. You know, it wouldn't be open to all, like all these kinds of things. So, you know, it's really... You know, I just thought it was a cool lesson that you brought up.
Yeah. And Isaac, I'm stealing this next question from you because I heard something on the radio the other day and I was like, ooh, I got to put this in the podcast today. But sustainability can feel really overwhelming to people. And even when we started getting into it, I also felt overwhelmed because, you know, we hear all these documentaries and things and they highlight how amazing our world is. And then it's like, we're hurting it. But then it's over. So what I heard on the radio the other day was that a lot of people have what's called as eco guilt, which is where like they want to do more in the world, but they're overwhelmed with the amount of options and also like they don't know what to do, you know? Yeah. So for you, Ashley, like what do you feel is like one simple beginner friendly action that you think everyone could start taking action on like today to start contributing?
Yeah, I think, first of all, shopping local, not purchasing all your products and services from, well, I guess I won't name names, but you know what we're all thinking.
We know.
But, you know, buying local and also buying from farmers markets as well is really the number one way that I think people can go sustainable today, because most areas do have farmers markets or and can shop local.
And farmers markets are much easier to find, I would think, because we can just Google things like that. But how do you shop local? It sounds like a basic question, but even Isaac and I are looking at, like, how do we buy our local goods? Like, how do you find these things when we're so used to convenience like Amazon, you know?
Yeah, or Walmart. And, it's shopping how they do in Europe, for example, where, you go to the fish market and then to the fruit store and then the bakery, right?
Can't forget about the bakery.
No.
We went to the bakery every day when we were in Europe.
And it's shopping at places like that rather than, your Walmarts and your Amazons. So.
And you make a point when we go to the local bakery, then you're like, oh, do you know a good local butcher? And they're like, oh, yeah, this local. Or when you go to a locally owned restaurant, like the other day we went to one and I asked, where do you get your bread is clearly homemade? And they're like, oh, the local bread maker over here. So now I know that one too. So that's a good point. Yeah.
And I think, with Kim and I, it took us about 3 years of just trial and error to get to the point where we're almost completely not using single-use plastics anymore. And so I just want to share that because it wasn't like an immediate, like, we changed everything about our lives. The first step was getting used to using reusable bags. That took a couple months because it was just like we'd always forget them in the car, right? And so we actually had to figure out what is our system for making sure we're bringing in these reusable bags every time, and what is our system for making sure we're bringing our reusable bags from our house to the car, every time. Once we got that system done, then we found that, there's reusable sandwich bags. We could start using those. Then we figured out, there's actually reusable produce bags. One of the most ironic things, because a lot of people are very focused on their health today, and microplastics obviously are being talked about a lot. And so I thought one of the most ironic things is I would pay all this extra money for organic produce, and then I'd immediately put it into a plastic bag. And it was like,
I didn't even think about that.
Wait a second. And so, we started using the produce bags, the reusable produce bags, which are more of like a mesh.
Yeah, it's kind of like a mesh, but you can also throw those in the laundry, which is awesome. Because like how many times you throw produce in there and it gets all like goopy and stuff, you don't want to keep reusing it. But when you start, what I found is when you start to take these like sustainability steps in your life, you start thinking more creatively and you're like, oh, I have paper towel. I'm sure there's a reusable option for that. I'm sure there's a more sustainable this or that. So we just keep growing along. And to answer your thing, Isaac, about like the reusable bag situation, I must have failed like how many different times until we figured out the right habit.
I think 2 months really to get to the point where we were at like 90% using reusable bags.
What ended up working for me though, besides the Trader Joe's sign that's like, don't forget your reusable bag. Those are helpful. But I would put my purse in the passenger seat of the car next to me while I was driving and then put the reusable bag over my purse. So that way, like, I'm literally forced to pick up the bag. Oh, it's in my hand. And pick up the purse and be like, okay, I need to bring this with.
Totally. And I might sound radical too, but I actually just don't use any bags. And everyone always thinks I'm crazy for that.
You are crazy.
I just imagine like juggling as you're walking out the store.
Well, I just put things in the cart and then I put it in my car. Okay. And I because I always forget the bags, but I don't need them.
I like how Isaac and I just assumed you don't even use a cart. I just imagine like Gus from Cinderella when he stacks up like all the food up to his and he's just like carrying everything.
I'm just imagining her like juggling like produce as she's leaving.
You wish she juggled. You don't juggle, right? Secret talent?
Nope.
Oh my goodness. All right, Isaac.
So I just wanted to encourage people to keep taking steps. That's what we found is it wasn't we changed everything in our lives all at once. It was we kept taking steps. We kept figuring out which products really work for us, which products don't. Not all quote unquote sustainable products are the things that are going to work for you. So you have to really figure that out. But again, after 3 years, we've removed almost all single-use plastics. We've reduced our energy bill by half. We're just a lot of different things that have made a big difference. And then once you get used to it, it's not like it's difficult. It's actually difficult when we don't bring a reusable bag anymore because like the bags that you get in the grocery store are crappy compared to your reusable bag.
Yeah, I've never had a reusable bag like break or my groceries like dump out. A plastic bag all day long, those things would break. Like they're not,
All right. So excellent. Jump into the next question. So we're excited to talk about this because I know this is a big thing that GreenLight Solutions does and makes a huge impact. So your waste diversion program for events, it's just so impactful. And I just don't think a lot of people understand like how much is going into it, how much waste is happening, and how much you're able to really prevent that waste. So I guess how did you first get started with that, and why did you make it like a centerfold of like a program that you offer through GreenLight?
Yeah, so actually our past Vice Mayor, Lauren Kuby, called me and she said, hey, the Mesa Marathon's coming to town. They want to do recycling. Can you help them? And I had done multiple waste diversion projects before, but there wasn't a formal program. I didn't have my SOPs, my systems, my processes, or the formal program. But, we didn't fully know what we were doing, but we did it. Fast forward since 2022, since that first event, we've done 35 events, and that's of all sizes. We've done events of 50 people and 50,000 people, really just to starve the landfill and maximize that waste diversion. So that could be through recycling, composting. We glamorous dumpster dive, which means that we waste sort. We go through every single piece of trash that goes through that event to make sure that every recyclable gets recycled and every compostable gets composted. We do food rescue. So, that perfectly good food at the end of the event that you'll see in the trash and you're so confused. Well, hey, we take that and we donate it to those in need.
Amazing.
So, and we also have environmental education where we have volunteers standing at the bins. Sometimes we'll have up to 100 volunteers at an event. And they're standing at the bin saying, hey, that's compostable, that's recyclable, and just providing some environmental education and raising awareness so that those event attendees not only do the right thing at the event, but they can go home with more sustainable habits as well. So for the last few years, we've diverted 55 tons from the landfill.
Dang.
Wow.
So, yeah, we're just so excited about the program and excited to help more events.
Yeah.
And honestly, like, Isaac and I have sponsored one of your events, actually, that they did the waste program for, I believe it was the Best of Arizona awards, which, I mean, was easily over 100 people, right?
Yeah, it was like 200 at least. Yeah.
Yeah, and this is for Green Living Magazine, another sustainable organization. Yep. But from that sponsorship, you and GreenLight Solutions were able to divert 91% of the waste there. And there was good food there, which meant you sent us the stats. It was 180 pounds of recycling and compost were diverted from the landfill, which is huge and hard to kind of wrap your mind around. But the extra thing I want to say about this is that Ashley took us behind the scenes. We got to see the waste sorting, as they were getting prepped and set up to do everything. And the look on her team's face, they were just like, this is amazing. They're like, we love doing this. Yes. And I was like, this is great. Because it's one thing to be like, we're helping the planet, we're diverting waste. But the fact that like your entire team is so freaking passionate about it just like lights me up inside. I love to see how much like you and your team, and that comes from you as a leader too, honestly, like instilling that into the team that they're like, oh my God, we're making a difference. And it feels so, so good.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, I mean, we have such a good time back there in the back of house, Green Team home base. It's not for the faint of heart. It is a very dirty job. It is not for everyone, but someone has to do it.
And we're grateful that you do.
Thank you.
And I also want to give a shout out to the city of Mesa. I first lived here like 9 years ago, and when we came back from traveling for many years, we've seen huge strides with the city of Mesa in terms of sustainability. So I actually didn't know it was the past mayor who encouraged you to start this green program, but just great job, City of Mesa. We've been really impressed with a lot of your programs and your dedication to really, helping the city and helping this planet. So just want to give a shout out.
I love it. All right. So before we play a game, I just have one last question. We were talking about like taking action, and you even mentioned yourself, like I know you earned your Bachelor of Arts in Sustainability and your Master's of Sustainability degree from ASU. Like you have roots right here in Arizona where we're recording right now. But how can other college students start getting involved in sustainability? Like what ways can they get involved in this kind of lifestyle and this kind of initiative?
Yeah, so we have our student-led sustainability projects, or our GreenLight Bootcamp program, as we now coin it. But this is where we partner students with businesses to collaborate on sustainability projects. So it's great for students because they gain that real-world experience in sustainability. These are things you can't learn in the classroom. But it's also great for the businesses, and you were project partners. You did a project with our students. And it's great for them because you get a team of passionate, innovative students to help you meet your sustainability goals.
Yeah.
So that's one way students can get involved. They can also volunteer on the green team and do some bin guarding, environmental education, and waste sorting with us. So it's a couple of ways.
Cool. Yeah, and even if you're not in Arizona, like ASU obviously has programs dedicated to sustainability. It sounds like, from our own research, I've seen quite a few colleges are now offering sustainability programs, which is amazing. So if you want to get involved in that, I'd say look it up. Grab your friend ChatGPT and say, what colleges have sustainability programs? That's probably a good start. And if you're in Arizona, absolutely seek out Ashley. And towards the end of this episode, we'll talk about how you can connect with her and reach out and connect to GreenLight Solutions and start getting involved. So
absolutely. And,
cool.
We have worked with students nationally. We've worked with colleges internationally as well. We've done 4 programs with Japanese students visiting us from Japan.
Wow.
From Nanzan University. So there is opportunity for, national engagement there. So
exciting. Yeah, I had no idea, actually. So thanks for sharing that.
Yeah. We've also trained over 400 students in the program and implemented 96 sustainability projects over the past decade.
It's a lot. It's so good. It's so good.
Yeah, I'm excited. It takes a village.
Yeah, or it takes one Ashley. We're trying to help her clone herself so we can all have more time with you, honestly, but also make a bigger impact in the world, too.
Yeah,
so.
absolutely.
Yeah. You ready for game time?
Yeah.
You ready for game time?
I'm ready.
Let's freaking do it. It is time for the most unexpected game. Wow. Thank you, Isaac. Cue the goat in the background. So this is how this game works. I'm going to ask a question, and then all 3 of us get to answer that question on what is the most unexpected blah, 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 whatever I say. So number 1. What is the most unexpected way you've seen sustainability show up somewhere you did not expect? So while you stew and brew on that, I will start.
Stew and brew.
Yeah, stew and sorry, does she have to brew and then stew? I don't know. It just seemed like the right thing to say. Stew on that.
And then brew.
I'm ready.
She needs to brew like a fine tea,
like
you
a
get
fine
it.
tea.
Yeah. That is the right word, isn't it? When you brew a tea?
You steep it.
Oh, well, I'm not going to say steep for a while. It feels weird. Anyways, my answer is when we went to Zion National Park, I don't know if you are aware or if the people are aware, but it's one of the most visited national parks. And they have a bus system, which, busing lots of people. Isaac, you know these stats. How many people did they think they were going to get, and how many people do they have?
So it was designed, one, because the main part of Zion was getting way too clogged with cars. And so they designed a bus system so you can't really drive into the main section of Zion unless you're staying at the lodge. And they initially built a bus system for 2.5 million people. And then in recent years, over 5 million people have been going through this bus system every single year.
Wow.
That's a lot.
Yeah.
So you definitely want to protect the beautiful land that it's on as well. But one interesting thing in sustainability that I found is Zion has a mandatory shuttle bus system like he was talking about, but they converted from gasoline and diesel to propane, which again is not carbon neutral. It's not the best option probably, but it is, from what I've read and researched, a cleaner option versus gasoline or diesel. So that was unexpected. And I know, Isaac was mentioning, that dramatically reduces congestion of vehicles and people, so that's helpful as well. The air pollution and the noise, a big diesel bus, imagine that, versus propane. So that was definitely something that was surprising to me. They launched that shuttle system with the propane in 2000.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, 25 years ago, which is actually quite a while.
Yeah.
So that was my unexpected. Isaac, what about you? What was sustainability somewhere you didn't expect?
Yeah, it was actually someone was told me to do something that that was an aha moment for me. And so in Arizona, it can get very hot during the summer, and cooking gets your house very hot, which means that you're then using your air conditioning more. And so one of my neighbors was like, oh, you should turn on the hood vent while you're cooking. And we do that when we're cooking bacon or anything that smokes, but I had never really conceived of doing that just for cooking, just to help that air immediately get flushed out into the outside, and so it's not in your house using the air conditioning more. So that was just an example of, like, I had not thought of it. It was not on my radar. I grew up in New York, so in the winter, you want that heat in your house. That actually helps.
Not in Arizona.
But not in Arizona. And so, just turning on your hood vent when you're cooking in the summer in Arizona actually will reduce your electricity bills,
and that's
which is
tested and approved too.
Yeah.
We do that now, and that's a good one.
Yeah.
What about you,
You've seen
Ashley?
a 50% reduction, so that's pretty awesome.
Yeah. That's huge for some people.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, so one way, has been through my scuba diving experiences. So I've been scuba diving since I was 12 years old, and I had the opportunity to go to the same reef 5 years apart. And I actually noticed the reef being overfished. So there was a lot of breakage of the coral, less fish, but then also a lot of the coral bleaching. So not a happy story, but, I think on the positive side, there are coral that can withstand the extreme heat. And there's a lot of projects and nonprofits out there that are planting more of this coral that can withstand climate change. So, it's really sad to see the amount of ocean and coral degradation, but, there are solutions.
But you go every single year is that how it goes?
Yeah, usually once a year. So, gosh, there's a lot of people that have hundreds and hundreds of dives, but probably around 100. So
yeah, and you're bringing awareness to this, though, like for someone who does not scuba dive every single year. And also, sorry, I said snorkeling earlier. You probably dabble in snorkeling as well, but
I don't like snorkeling.
That means my diving joke worked earlier.
No, I snorkeled after scuba diving for years, and I was so uncomfortable.
Like bored, or what do you mean?
I just you get water in the snorkel. And
Kim's not a good snorkeler. She really struggles.
My
with
body just goes vertical every time. I try to stay horizontal, and my little flippers just go down. And I'm like, I don't want to kick the reefs.
And then you somehow always get the tube into the water, and so it goes into your mouth.
It's in my mouth. It's in my glasses.
Kim really is a challenged snorkeler.
Maybe I should try scuba diving. I've never tried that.
It's amazing. It's life-changing.
But yeah, I mean, honestly, and I know we were going to bring up scuba diving earlier. We can come back to the most unexpected game, because I know you have some notes, Isaac, about...
You want? Yeah. I just actually read an article that I thought was really fascinating, that they're actually... I actually have the study written down here
When
somewhere.
he says they, he means the scientists. I know, I put you all out of order.
Yeah,
Ashley did it, okay? I'm kidding. No, it's good stuff, though. I think we're around, number 8-ish.
Yeah.
No, actually, exactly number 8. Hit it.
Okay, so a study published in the Royal Society Open Science actually showed that they recorded healthy reefs and the sound of healthy reefs, and they're actually playing those sounds in reefs that most of the fish have left, and they're finding that it's actually attracting the fish back to lay the eggs and literally relaunching these reefs to have life again. So I just thought that was a really fascinating thing. And one thing for me, again, with the news the way that it is right now, it's all doom and gloom, and yet there are millions of people working on this planet doing incredible things for this planet every single day.
Absolutely.
And it's really not heavily talked about. So that was just one of those things that I was like, well, that's really an interesting idea, to use sound to actually help revitalize these reefs.
I mean, I'm not surprised,
cool.
though, because we talk about sound healing for people, right? But it's interesting what you're talking about, Isaac, because it's almost like sound healing for the ocean.
Yeah.
You're literally talking about sound waves being able to attract fish to lay their eggs in a dead area and bringing it back to life. That is a huge revelation. I literally have goosebumps talking about it right now.
It's beautiful, yeah.
So now you don't have to feel as bad. Maybe.
Well, still
or like
change-
maybe
still
go
like-
underwater and like play the flute a little bit. Like if you could just,
This is why she's
I've-
not good at snorkeling.
because I'm busy trying to like play the
Yeah, you're trying
recorder.
to play the recorder underwater.
It's like what the Pied Piper like had his rats and stuff. You know that story?
Do you?
No. I don't. It's a nursery rhyme. Do you know what I'm talking about?
I think
There's like
Slightly.
maybe it's not the Pied Piper. There's this guy who like it's a nursery rhyme. He plays like a little flute, and all the rats come with him, and they're his friends.
Oh, so I'll be like with the fish.
Yes, thank you. You get where I'm
Yeah,
going
we came
with
full
this.
circle.
Thank you. All right. Anyways, we're gonna go back to that game now. Thank you, Isaac.
Yeah.
The next one is the most unexpected small change you made that had a huge personal impact on your life. Mine on this is definitely hang drying. Like, oh my gosh. Isaac and I went to Europe. We lived there for 3 months. We were in France. We were in Italy. We were in Switzerland. We were driving. We were not driving. What we found is like, they have a better hang drying solution. Like I grew up thinking that we just had to have, you know, those hang lines and the clothespins, like squishing your clothes. And I don't know. I was very turned off by that idea. We even tried to do that to some extent, I think, at one of our houses.
Yeah.
It wasn't very good.
No, it didn't work well.
But then when we came home, Isaac found, even like searching online for a drying rack, what he did find was European drying
you literally
rack.
have to search European drying rack to find these drying racks.
And then if you're watching this video right now, you can see all my hand motions. So this thing opens, it has a top tier, it opens this way. So you hang clothes here, here, here. Then on the underside, it hangs here and here. And then the thing is fully vertical collapsible. You just shut it up like this, and I stick it in my closet. And what I found is it does not take me any really extra time, maybe an extra 5 minutes. But how long it takes you to take out wet clothes and put it in the dryer, by the time I open this thing up, hang all my clothes last a lot longer. They're soft. They don't get the pilling. And also they still smell very nice. Mind you, we live, our home base is in Arizona, so I can just pop it outdoors and the sunshine cooks it dry in about like 2 hours sometimes faster depending on the year. If you're from our hometowns like Chicago area or Isaac, upstate New York, yeah, we had basements. We could definitely hang dry things there. And especially if you don't need something right away, then like you just leave it overnight. So.
Yeah, so we've gotten to the point where we're hang drying, I would say 90% of the time.
I barely use the dryer, to be honest.
Occasionally, like we would run it too late at night and we have to throw it in for like 20 minutes in the dryer just to get it finally dried before we go to bed or something like that. But it's fair, yeah.
But I don't have wrinkles in my clothes either, which is like...
That is a good point.
You know why?
Yeah, why?
So, no hate, Jesse and Corey. I'm just putting you out here. But like Jesse, when I was hang drying with her in Europe, she would just like throw the clothes onto the line, and I like laughed about it a little bit because her style of just throwing things on the drying rack versus me, I would lay everything completely stretched out straight onto it, like a t-shirt, for example. You could drape it over, or you could like stretch it out. That is why.
And it's actually a lot easier to fold with how you do it, because now you can just
yeah.
like pick it up, like it's already kind of half folded.
Swoop,
it's like swoop, swoop.
Yeah, swoop, swoop. We both made like the same noises. Yeah. What about you, Ashley? What's yours?
So for me, all of my food scraps, all of my paper napkins, any paper products, and any compostable products, I compost.
Yeah.
So, and I actually, you can do it in your garden, but if you're living in an apartment or in an urban area, I use my Our City Mill Bin, which is really awesome. They're one of our partners, and I've had this in my home for 5 years now, and I love it.
Wow.
We also use them for all of our green events for the composting. I've been over to their farm. It's organic. It's really closes that loop for local farmers as well, because they actually take your compost on their farm and create the organic food, sell it at the farmers markets, but then they also create fertilizer and give it to local farmers as well. So it's great to support the local farming community. But that's where I put all my food scraps, all of my paper products. I just put it in my mill bin, and it gets picked up once a month. And so why that's so impactful is because methane, this is something I love talking about because a lot of people don't know this, unexpected game, is methane is 21 times more threatening in terms of greenhouse gases than carbon dioxide for climate change. So what does that mean? That means that throwing trash in your magical trash bin, you think out of sight, out of mind, and those items are going to go create methane in a landfill, the most harmful greenhouse gas. And some of those items that are going to landfill are going to sit there for hundreds, if not thousands of years, depending on the material. So throwing something on your trash bin is actually 21 times worse than even driving your car.
Whoa.
So a lot of people don't know that. So I would say that that's the most impactful thing that I do.
Yeah, well, thanks for sharing. And that I know that's definitely one of the next steps that we have to take after this next summer trip when we come home, because every year we take different steps. And so I know composting is going to be a big step, and then growing our own produce and herbs. And I think those go in hand. If you're composting, you can use some of that soil to help you grow your own produce and herbs, which I think I was reading. I don't have the exact numbers, but it's 50 years ago, half of homes had a private garden. And 100 years ago, 90% of homes had their own private garden where they would grow produce and herbs. And I think that's really lacking in our food chain now, our food supply chain. And it's really lacking in getting fresh or organic vegetables that you can just grow right there in your own home. So thank you for sharing that. I do have to let you know, when you get really passionate, you tend to clap your hands and hit the table. Can't do that on a podcast.
Got it. I'm not surprised.
She keeps pounding the table.
I love to see the passion, but I also see the spikes on the audio.
Good to know. I get excited.
That's so
love
funny.
the excitement.
Yeah, good points, Isaac. And also, didn't Ashley earlier say embrace your inner grandma or something like that?
Basically.
I don't think those are the exact words, but I like it.
Yeah. So for me, it actually is the reusable sandwich bags. Has been one of the products that I've liked the most when transitioning.
I'm surprised to hear this.
They are so much more easily usable than your plastic sandwich bags. Are always hard to seal up, and then
that's true.
They get kind of nasty if they're in the sun or anything like that. So the reusable sandwich bags are really easy to seal. They feel good. They can fit everything. I actually prefer using them significantly over the plastic, the single-use plastic sandwich bags. So
totally.
That's one that I didn't expect that I'd like as much as I do, and I'm I would never go back to regular sandwich bags.
I mean, this is the first time I'm hearing it, so this is unexpected for me as well. I'm glad you like them so much.
Yeah,
it's a game changer, and it's so easy to clean. You
can clean them in the sink or in the dishwasher. But when we're traveling around now, we always bring them because oftentimes we have different strategies on how we're traveling with food, but we make sandwiches a lot. And we make sandwiches out of leftovers as well, as a way to reuse food. So, the sandwich bags are great when you're traveling.
Yeah, we'll definitely include a link to some of the things we're talking about too, our city mill, that's huge. Also the sandwich bags, our reusable water bottles. You talked about reusable grocery bags earlier.
Yeah.
We will definitely include some of those products in the show notes. So definitely keep an eye out for that.
And we use the reusable grocery bags for all sorts of stuff too.
Yeah, not just groceries.
We use them for groceries all the time, but even while we're traveling, because we travel in our car a lot, and there's not a lot of room for sweatshirts in your suitcase. They take up a lot of room, so we actually pack our sweatshirts usually in a reusable bag, on the side. And
or things you want easy access to, we'll put our snow beanies in there. We knew you're leaving here and you're going somewhere cold, you want something accessible. Also, I like to put my dry food goods in there, so then you just carry your dry food. I mean, I guess those are technically groceries too, but just a snack bag essentially. I like that.
There you go.
Cool. Thanks for sharing, guys. All right, so let's go back to that conversation at the beginning of the show when we were we were project partners. Don't know where my words
Project
went.
Pirates,
Arr.
Arg.
My words are just so excited today.
We're always excited. We're excited people.
Yes, we are. Says the girl who slams the table. I'm kidding.
Not surprised you did that.
I know. But
you're grabbing your hands so tight right now, don't move, don't slam.
she's good. She's under control.
Yeah.
But we did have the honor of being a project partner, there it is, with GreenLight Solutions. We spent 7 months together and with your team and college students really building something absolutely bonkers. I think that's the best way to describe it.
Really
we created
valuable.
something that doesn't exist anywhere else that we've ever been able to find.
So what is it?
I should probably tell you what it is. We created a whole work from home sustainability guide. Like the thing Isaac and I recognize, in working with our own company, Localfy, is we have a remote team. How many people since COVID work from home now? And even GreenLight Solutions, an incredible nonprofit, goes into local businesses and tells them like how to reduce their carbon footprint. But what if you work from home? What do we do? What can we do? So that's really what we dove into in working with you and your team is really writing out those actionable items on these are the different steps you can take, the different products you can purchase with this work from home sustainability guide. So it's been really incredible, and we'll talk about it a little bit more in a second, but I also want to highlight the fact that, hey, Ashley, we are officially green business certified in the state of Arizona.
Hey, congratulations.
I know, Air 5.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you. I know. Clap.
Quiet 5.
High five.
Actually, on our first podcast, Kim and I high-fived really loud, and I was listening to it back the first time, and I was like, I just threw off the headphones because it hurt so bad. I was like, we can't do that.
Yeah, I got excited again.
I know. I forefronted it.
So that guide actually, I think, was instrumental in helping us get green business certified through Local First Arizona, because we actually used the guide, especially when we moved into our new condo. We actually used the guide, we actually pulled it out and we're going through all the processes. And then we have to write a policy for, getting green business certified. And GreenLight actually shared with us that Local First shared with us that we are like one of the best policies they've ever seen.
Just so thorough and detailed. Yeah. He was kind of blown away.
Yeah.
That's great.
So I think you definitely helped us fast track that to being as detailed as it is.
Hey, but you all have the values.
Yeah.
Localfy has the values. So.
Yeah, we were excited to do it, and we really didn't do it for a business sense. It was really we just think this is helpful for our business, and we want to give it to many other businesses. Mm-hmm. So this guide is freely available. We can put a link into this show notes, and check it out. And I just want to highlight 2 or 3 things from the guide.
Please do.
So one of the number one things that you can do is actually get an energy audit. So most municipalities, most cities in the U.S. and maybe even the world have an energy audit that you can do. Yep. Here in Arizona, SRP, you can do a virtual one for free or an in-person one for $50. It does take about a month because they are kind of popular, but they actually go through the house and they talk about all these different things, and you learn new things. I didn't know, for instance, your energy is actually more efficient when it's full. I didn't know that. It actually uses less energy if it's more full. That's kind of interesting. But what they also do is then if they see you don't have LED lights, they'll actually give you LED lights. And we had the old shower
free.
Yeah, and we had the old shower heads when we moved in. It was just the past people's shower heads, and they were like, those aren't low flow, and they gave us low flow shower heads free. And I've got to tell you, the SRP low flow shower heads are great. They feel like you're getting a massage. These aren't crappy, water showers. And even Kim with thick hair needs a higher water pressure.
I was hoping you'd mention that. Yeah. I'm a real stickler because when you have thick hair and a low flow, I want to help the environment, but I also want to get the soap out of my hair. That's a fine line, right? But those low flow shower heads, from SRP,
no
that was
problem.
really solid. So Isaac was saying, they will literally give you, at least SRP, I can't speak for all energy audits, but they give you $250 to $300 worth of free product. This is LED light bulbs, like you said. They'll give you weather stripping, low flow shower heads, sink, even for your sinks, bathroom sinks or kitchen sinks. There's all sorts of things that they find from doing. And again, it's free to sign up, or you pay the $45, $50 and have them come in person and be able to maybe do a more thorough job. But wow, get on that.
And then when you get the products, make sure you install them.
Yeah, true. Yeah. Next step.
So that you got to make sure you do that. But that was a great experience. And then another one that a lot of people just didn't think about, and I didn't think about. And again, with GreenLight, what happens is you have these students who are going through the sustainability program, and they're actually doing the research. So one of the things they found was that actually being on a ton of email lists every email that gets sent out is a small amount of, energy that's being sent out. And so all of us on these email lists, we never look at. So
your promotions tab.
Right.
Yeah.
So stay on your email list if you look at it. There's no problem with that. But if you're not ever looking at these emails, just unsubscribe. It will clear out your inbox, which is nice. And then, again, if everyone does this, it actually makes a decent impact. So just wanted to mention that, after learning that, I went through and I just spent a week. Anytime I saw an email come in that I was like, I haven't looked at this email list in a year, just unsubscribed, so.
And to Isaac's point, like everyone taking a small step can contribute to big change. I don't want people to think, like, even like me, I've gone through the mindset of like, well, if everyone doesn't do the thing, then my little step isn't going to make a change, but that's wrong thinking. I mean, if I make a small step, I'm still contributing to the greater good in this world. So take that step. Don't question it. Just do it.
And we live in a very capitalistic society. There's positives and negatives to capitalism. But the thing is, if we all start changing to more sustainable products, the companies are going to change. They're going to start offering more sustainable products. Like they are going to change to what consumers want. So
yeah, that's definitely true.
And it's not a matter of if businesses will go green, it's when. Because
I love that.
At the end of the day, these are finite resources. Shocker, we have 100 years of reserves of oil, for example. People don't talk about this enough. It's not a matter of if, but when we make these transitions.
Yeah.
And like any technological transition, those that are pioneers, those that embrace it first, will have that competitive edge. And those that don't hop on board will be left behind.
Yeah.
So really important in the business space as well. It's really, sustainability is smart business and it's modern business.
Yeah.
And it does save money. Like that's the thing. Like it's better for the environment and it saves you money. Okay.
And it's oftentimes healthier.
Oh, and healthier.
And that's a big key for, me, honestly, is I'm always looking at my health. I want to feel as good as I possibly can. And it's almost every single green solution, whether it's cleaning products that are, using natural, essential oils, or like, one thing, like if we can't get something off and it's sticky, I just use lemon essential oil. It's like
Simple.
the easiest thing, and it's completely natural. It's literally an oil from a lemon.
Live like your grandma did.
Right,
That
exactly.
embrace your inner grandma. That's it. He said something like that. But the last thing I'll say about the work from home sustainability guide, like for those who don't know or haven't seen it or want to see it, the thing I really feel great about it too is the fact that we get over this whole overwhelming, like there's so many sustainable options, how do I know which one's good or which one's not, or blah blah blah. Like the guide literally breaks down the different categories that you helped us find. Like here are all the products that we believe in the energy sector, in the waste sector, in what is the other one, Isaac? What am I missing? Water in the water sector. Yeah, like solar ovens are a thing, like low flow, more efficient, eco-friendly toilets exist. Yeah. And it does not cost an arm and a leg to get some of this stuff either. So that's what's nice about the guide too. When you check it out, like there's actual products that you can, even if you don't find that exact one or get something similar, it definitely helps.
And just like learning about, like I didn't really know about refilleries until this project, and one of our project partners worked at a refillery, and so this is just like, it's such a smart solution. Instead of buying another soap jug every time you need soap and using plastic over and over, just buy a nice soap jug once and then just go to refillery and get it refilled. It's like there's just a lot of different solutions that like even I wasn't aware of. So.
And I think this speaks to having the terminology where you look at an item and you only think of it as having that use. But it could have a billion different uses, and
like the grocery bag, you mean?
Right. Or and it's just rethinking the way that we live, and saving us money in the long run.
I don't know anyone who doesn't like saving money, so...
and like, I just did something I'm pretty excited about. I made chicken stock for the first time. Shout out to Chef Nick, who taught me how to make chicken stock. But so, like, you know, one of our tactics when we travel is actually getting rotisserie chicken, because it's a great way to create a very budget-friendly meal that actually lasts us 4 meals.
4 meals for 2 people? That's 8 meals worth of food from one rotisserie chicken.
And some other stuff. We get some other stuff and mix it.
Can you please paint the picture? Because people want to drool over here. It was really good tacos.
Okay, so the first night we usually make tacos out of rotisserie chicken. So we get the rotisserie chicken, I cut it up, you know, about a third of that will go into tacos. I usually might get a rice mix, but we also might get some stuff from the deli. So we actually got like some potatoes from the deli. And then we get like usually an onion and a pepper. And then, you know, it's easy to cook up, you know, the onion and pepper, or you
a little
can
bit
have
of
that
olive
raw.
oil as your like dressing, because most Airbnbs will have like olive oil or something like that too. Yeah.
And so that's the first night is we make tacos out of that. Then the second night the second day we'll make sandwiches out of the rest of the chicken. It's not uncommon for us to maybe get half a pound of turkey as well, and then we get a loaf of bread, right? Usually Dave's bread. It's pretty good for you for American standards.
We like the grains.
And so that the next day we do that. The third day I might make like a rice and chicken dish for dinner, and the next day we have sandwiches again. And so that's usually like 4 meals we're able to make.
Yum.
But Chef Nick talked about how he loves rotisserie chicken, and one of the reasons he loves it so much is because he makes chicken stock out of it. And so I'd never done this before, and so after I cut it up, you know, you have all the bones and carcass, and so, you know, we're staying in this lovely cabin in Pine Top, shout out Northwoods Cabins, and, you know, it's a chilly night out, so we're indoors anyway, and so I'm like, well, you know, I'm just gonna make this chicken stock. And, you know, one, it was awesome, you know, to make it, and, you know, you just use leftover ingredients. You're not like using any new ingredients, just all your leftovers, and you're making the chicken stock. And I had a bit of a sore throat for like a couple weeks, actually. The chicken stock was the thing that helped by far the most in getting rid of my sore throat.
It's so shocking. It like brought up like phlegm and stuff too, you said. Like it had a lot. And it sounded like it was stupidly easy. Like you use all your chicken for all these things, and then you just had the bones, you throw it in a pot, and you threw we needed bay leaves. We had sage leaves, actually.
I got sage because I couldn't find bay leaves.
Sage tasted real good, but like that was it, wasn't it?
Yeah, I mean, they like to put in the fixings as well. So this is usually like the butt ends of like carrots or
zucchini and stuff.
Or onions and that kind of stuff. These are like scraps you would normally throw away, but you save up until you're making the chicken stock, then you throw all those scraps in.
What's the liquid?
The liquid's just water.
Oh, so you just put water in, and then that turns the water into chicken stock?
Yeah.
Ah.
There you go.
Well, all right. Done. And now you just have no waste. So, like, we weren't composting, but this is a great alternative. If you don't already compost, then you're using the butt ends of your vegetables. You're getting really healthy chicken stock. You're, like, diverting the waste from the landfill, too. You know, using, like, the full ingredients. I love that.
Yeah, really using, you know, the food to the best of your ability. And, I was very excited about it. Probably more excited than maybe I should be.
You're still very excited about it.
I thought it was great, and I'm excited to make it again, honestly.
Yeah, for sure.
And, you know, those bones, you can also compost and mill in our city bins.
Okay.
So eggshells, too. So those, like, difficult to compost in a lot of, for example, in your garden, they have industrial composting. So,
oh, wow.
Yeah.
The mill bin will actually, like, break down the bones?
Yes.
Nice.
Yeah.
Wow.
Because that's probably excellent nutrients for the soil when they're going back to the farm. And don't they give you vegetables too, or is that like part of their program?
They do have a program for that. So where you can actually get a farm box. So when they switch out your bucket every month, you can get a fresh produce.
So cool.
So coming back to like sustainability, like what's more sustainable is being connected with where your food comes from and knowing it's actually organic and nutrient rich.
And like knowing that some of the soil used to grow that food literally came from you, you know?
Yeah.
Which is, I think that's a great, to me, it's like a circle. You know, I think it's a great circle of sustainability. Ooh, that's a good
circle of sustainability.
The circular economy.
Yeah, it doesn't flow as nice as Circle of Life. We'll create a new song for that.
Okay.
I love the songs.
I like it. But yeah, that's super cool. And also, I know we didn't talk about it today, but there's this thing out there where, like, is it really organic, or is this really a green business? What is it called? Like greenwashing, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. How do we know it's really organic, or how do we know that this business is actually a green business? What do we do? What do we research? Who do we ask?
Yeah, I think that's a tough one because I think that answer will change based on the type of business and things like that. But I think it's also, when you walk into the store, it's a little bit of common sense as well, just kind of seeing, what you are witnessing at that business, but then also taking a look at, if they have a sustainability report, or just seeing their outputs of their business. Is their product or service actually sustainable? At face value.
And something like Mill, like that's why I bring it up, because something like Mill in our city, what they're doing is like, this is clear, this is real organic stuff coming from a real farm where you really gave them real soil.
Yeah.
It's like the easiest way to say it.
Exactly. And, like one other thing that I thought of too is, looking at the tag, how it will tell you the materials.
Yeah.
And you can easily look up, what type, how much water that type of material takes, for example.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Cool.
Nice.
Yeah. So we're really happy to have you here, Ashley, and we really appreciate you sharing with us, again, some of the great things that people are doing. Because, for me, again, going onto the news, a lot of times it's doom and gloom to the point where it's like you want to kind of step away. But I know that actually there are people like you doing incredible things every single day. So first of all, thank you for being you.
Thank you.
And thank you for really, showing people like, hey, we're out here and we're doing things to help the planet, and we're going to keep doing that no matter what, and I think that's incredible. I also want to highlight actually someone I follow on Instagram who I think does a great job highlighting good news across the world.
Ooh, tell
His
us
name
more.
is Sam Bentley. That's Sam and then Bentley. And you can find him on Instagram and YouTube, and he just highlights positive stories around the world, oftentimes relating to sustainability. And so I think what he's doing is great, because I think we really need to put a magnifying glass on the great things people are doing.
Yes.
And really let people know, you have access to this. I saw there's a company in Bali who are taking the excess of trash that's on their beaches and turning them into chairs. Different things. There's all
cool.
these different people doing these incredible things, and if we can highlight them and show people that, one, I think people are going to get more excited about sustainability, and two, then let me go buy one of those chairs. So yeah, I just wanted to share that, because that's one of the people I actually follow, and shout out to Sam Bentley, and thank you for all the hard work you do in highlighting all these great people, because I think it makes a difference for me and my mindset, and being able to just influence and get other people excited about sustainability, because it actually is a cool field. I think it's a very cool field, and from traveling so much, I've found Mother Nature is incredible. The ecosystems that it develops are out of this world. The complexity and yet how everything stays in balance is unbelievable, and I honestly was losing hope a little bit at some point, and what I saw is that this planet actually doesn't need us to save it. It is incredibly resilient. It just needs us to give it space. When it gets space, it regrows. And it always, we've come close to decimating different fish populations, but then the world has come together, gave those fish breeding grounds again, and they repopulate. So, what we need to do as humans, I think, is really recognize, where do we need to give this planet space to do its thing? Because it's an incredible, I think it's a living creature almost. I think it's just an incredible thing. It's amazing that we get to be here living on this gorgeous planet. And so, yeah, let's all figure out a little bit of ways to give it some space to do its thing, so we can continue living here on this incredible planet.
And Isaac just keeps looking at me because I'm giggling. I'm tearing up a little bit, because that was emotional. It was great and all, but I'm cracking up because all I hear is my grandma in my head being like, "Don't touch it! Don't touch it! Don't touch it!" Because that's what he's saying. Give the earth space. If we just don't touch some of it and let it do its thing, it's incredibly resilient.
Yeah.
It is.
Well, yes, resilience is huge. And then also, climate solutions. They're technological, and then there's also environmental climate solutions. And, I'll also kind of end by saying this too, is a lot of people say that, I'm an environmentalist. And I tell them, I am not an environmentalist. Ooh, I know. I tell them I'm a humanitarian. Why? Because the planet, it's going to be fine. Can the planet provide for humans, for current and future generations?
You said 6 generations, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Can it provide us clean water, clean food? Can we grow our crops in the extreme heat? Can we be safe from natural disasters by caused by climate or exacerbated by climate change? You know, it's not an issue of will the planet be okay? Just like the extinction of the dinosaurs. Hate to say it, but right, like the planet was fine.
Yeah.
So that's an important piece to say is, you know, think of sustainability not as a nice to have, but a need to have. There's a quote out there that says, okay, there's a circle and a box. Which one is the economy and which one's the planet?
Does the circle go in the box, or are they 2 separate shapes?
Well, the idea is that the outside structure is the outside shape is the planet. Is that no matter what you do as a human, the Earth is providing for us.
Yeah.
No matter what you do as a business, you can only operate within the planetary boundaries that the Earth provides for us. We have no choice but to mitigate and adapt to climate change and to provide these sustainability solutions, because this spaceship Earth is this is all we have.
Yeah, this is our home. You know, that's the thing. Is like, you know, most people would want to keep the homes clean and, you know, they're proud of the homes and all that kind of stuff. Like, this planet is our home. And so, you know, for me, I just, and being able to see, like, it's so beautiful. This planet is so freaking beautiful. It's like, we gotta make sure we're protecting it. And again, really just giving it the space it needs a lot of the time.
And people seem to forget sometimes too, or maybe haven't explored, you know, very much. Like, we say the planet. Can you fathom what the planet means? Like, let alone the United States itself has volcanoes and rainforests and glaciers and just mind-blowing things, let alone the whole planet. I have barely grazed the surface of what the heck it means to see the entire planet.
Yeah, and we travel like 70% of the time, and yet
it's still not enough.
And yet we still have so much more to explore on this incredible planet.
Every time we travel, we learn something new, though. You know, it opens up our eyes to what's going on in the rest of the world, the rest of the planet, what's happening in sustainability. You know, what's happening with climate change, and pine beetles aren't dying because it's not getting cold enough. And like, there's different things that happen, you know, so it is very eye-opening. I don't know if refreshing is the right word, but even with you experiencing like the scuba diving, awareness is key to be aware of it. And also to find people like Sam Bentley and highlight him and what you're doing with GreenLight Solutions. Like, let's put more positivity out in the world. What you put out, you get back, right? So let's highlight what is great in the world, because there is a lot. It doesn't matter how much negativity is around. There's always something. I'm always Miss Positive, you guys know.
That's true.
But like, there's so much positivity to focus on. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Awesome. So before we sign off, we want to first hear, how does someone learn more about GreenLight Solutions?
Yeah, so you can check out our website at glsolutions.org. Solutions is plural. So you can subscribe to our newsletter and find ways to get involved, volunteer, donate, and really be a part of the mission to help more youth really embrace green career pathways and help more businesses and events go green.
And I know you also have like sponsorship options where you're able to actually, help businesses go more green, but actually show the impact. Can you talk to us a little bit about those like sponsorship opportunities?
Yeah, so really what that looks like is sponsorships can look a lot of different ways, but it's a way that we can say, hey, you help make this impact possible, and actually tell you those calculations of, hey, you took X amount of tons at the landfill through your work with us. So that's something really compelling that that a sponsor can take part in.
And I think you shared with me you have several businesses on these sponsorship packages, and they love sharing those to their employees, and we do the same thing. Like, you know, part of the reason why we attract such great team members and they stick with us so long is because they know they're actually making a positive impact just by working with us, because, you know, we actually share this data of like, here's the different things that we were able to do, and this is the impact it made.
Yep. Sustainability is great for employee retention, consumer demand, like we mentioned earlier, increasing your bottom line and increasing efficiencies, risk management, stakeholder value. You know, the list goes on and on and on for all the reasons why sustainability is so good for your business.
Cool. And so if you're in the Phoenix Valley and you're throwing an event, how does somebody get in contact with you about your waste management services, and what does that look like?
Yeah, so you and I would have a discovery session. I'd learn everything about your event, and then we would move forward on supporting your event. And every event that we work with is very different and has its really customized sustainability solutions that we'll work on with you. But how you would get involved is going to our website. You know, there's a way to sign up for that there. Okay. Also, my email is Ashley, ASHLEY, @glsolutions.org.
Awesome. And I do just want to say, like, your donation does get used very well. So
very lean,
even if you can donate a little bit, a lot, make it a monthly thing that you're putting out, doing good in the world, you know, donate what you can. Help organizations like Ashley with GreenLight Solutions, because you know that your money is actually being put into real world action that is really making an awesome impact for your lives, for your future fur pets, like everybody.
Yeah. And I think that's a great point, Kim. And, you know, one of the things is just living daily life, especially here in America, you are going to have a carbon footprint, right? There's no way to go get that down to zero in reality. So one of the things that Kim and I look at is how do we offset that carbon footprint? And we do that by donating to plant trees, or do we do that by donating our marketing services to different not-for-profits who are focused on it? And so, you know, donating to GreenLight Solutions is another great way to just help offset that carbon footprint, because they're out there doing the dirty work, getting into the trash and making sure it's going to the right place, you know? So, just wanted to highlight that, because I think that's definitely part, we all need to do waste reduction, but also then finding those great organizations that are out there actually reducing carbon footprint. You know, those are great things to just help you offset what you're just naturally doing by just living.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Awesome.
Well, thank you so much for joining us today. It's been awesome. And man, this is like an education-packed episode too, which I love. It's all about action. Like, if you guys have listened before, you know we don't like to beat around the bush. We like to tell you, like, here is the action, whether it's a road trip, whether it's how to travel sustainably. That's a big one, you know? So we'll definitely include products, notes. Check out those show notes if you haven't already.
Awesome.
Wonderful. And thank you so much for having me. You guys are always a blast.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Well, don't worry. It's not over yet. You have one more homework item. You ready?
Alrighty, I'm ready.
You have to sign off the show. So when we say, thanks for joining us on, you have to say full time to travel time.
Okay.
Can you handle
I'm
it?
ready.
All right. She's ready. All right. Let's do it.
Well, everyone, thanks for joining us on
Full time to travel time.